What's up guys, different type of video going on today. I'll be showing you guys my strategy on how I've been able to profit about $5,000 from PrizePicks. This video is going to show off some strategies on how I have been able to personally find success on sites like PrizePicks. However, I'm not telling you guys to do exactly what I do or anything like that. I'm just showing you guys what I personally have done. Prove I'm not coming out of nowhere with that, by the way, about having like a large profit amount. This is from over my dub club. You can see that if you literally just, by the way, talk to PrizePicks and their support and say, what is my net profit amount, they will tell you. It's funny how a lot of people on Twitter and other places pull up a picket, which is easily manipulated, but they won't show you this. And you just contact PrizePicks and they say that your net winnings are currently at, for example, me, $4,811.98. That was also in middle of one of my worst months, which was February of 2023. I've had a really good March so far, so I'm pretty sure I'm probably at $5,000 by now. That's just showing you guys that I'm not talking out of my ass there. But let's talk about my strategy and how I've been able to find success. And we're going over a couple different strategies that I have used that have worked personally for me. We're talking about taking advantage of discounts and promos and things like that, and just units and everything like that, the tools that I use. So there's a lot of different tips I'll be talking about in today's video. Make sure you subscribe and have those post notifications on to not miss future videos. If you are new, I post my free play. I post usually 2 free plays every single day, whether that's NBA or even the MLB. And I do have a dub club where you can access all of my plays for today, or just days that I'm playing PrizePicks. The link is down in my description below if you are interested in taking a look at my dub club, which will send you my plays via email or Telegram. Let's hop in and talk about the strategies that I use. So the main thing that I do 99% of the time, there's a bunch of different combinations when it comes to PrizePicks. You can combine up to 6 different players typically. So you can combine it up to 6 different players. You can do a 2-pick power play. You can do a 3-pick power play, 3-pick flex, a bunch of different things like that. Assuming you're not new to PrizePicks, you probably already know that. But when it comes to 2-pick power plays, that's what I do pretty much 90% of the time is a 2-pick power play. I'll dive into some other strategies with like 2 picks and 5 picks and things like that in a second. But 2-pick power play, it just pays out 3 times your money. If you get both of these squares right, that will end up paying you out 3 times your money. I usually play about a unit per square that I do, or per entry, I mean. Like my 2-pick power plays, it's usually what I do. Another one that I do use though once in a while is the 5-pick flex. That's really all I do is 2 picks and 5 picks. That's all I do. So we'll go ahead and just throw a couple guys in here. You can see that the payout for the 5-pick flex right here obviously is 10x if you do get all 5 right, or times 2 if you get 4 correct. And I'll dive more into these 5-pick flexes because 5-pick flexes are statistically, I believe, the best type of entry to do. However, it's different if you have a lower bankroll and grinding the bankroll and things like that. Just some background information, by the way, I started with, I believe, less than $100 in my PrizePicks. I don't think I've ever deposited more than $100 in a PrizePicks, and I definitely have not deposited in over a year and a half, I believe. So I've just steadily been grinding my bankroll for about a year and a half that I've been on PrizePicks now, and it's gone very, very well for me. You guys saw the screenshot from earlier, and that is mostly off of these 2-pick power plays. There's also different strategies with the 2-pick power plays. So let's say, for example, there's 3 plays that I like. For example, maybe I like Bradley Beal over points, Paolo over points, unless I also like James Wiseman over points, for example. So I have these 3 plays that I do like. I'm not going to pair them into 3s because it's not in my best interest personally for me to do like a 3-pick flex. Something else you can do is the mix and match strategy with the 2-pick power play. So if I like these 3, you can go, let's say you like all the overs. We'll start off here by going with Beal and Banchero, pairing those 2 up, and that will pay out 3 times your money. Or you can go ahead and then also do Bradley Beal over with the Wiseman over that I liked from before. And there's an entry right there. And then finally, you can also do Wiseman paired with Banchero over points. So you have those 3 different entries with the 3 different players that you like, just mixing and matching all different possible combinations. I know a lot of people who do things like that, and that's also a decent strategy in my opinion. I do a lot of mix and matching as well, rather than just doing like just 2 pairs and hoping that both pairs hit. But also, if only 1 out of your 3 that you like hit, then you're not making any money. Playing responsibly, by the way, is also a big thing. If you're on a daily fantasy site like PrizePicks or something like that, do this for entertainment. It's not going to make you extra money, and it shouldn't be like an extra source of income to you, is how I like to put it. How I think personally you should look at it is just entertainment. This is entertainment. It's not meant to be an extra source of income, like I said. So just play responsibly, man, and grind that bankroll. Instead of putting 50, let's say you have $100 in your PrizePicks account, you can start off by doing like $5 2-pick power plays and just try to build that bankroll up consistently. That's what I personally have done, and I've been able to be very, very successful at that. Like I said, I started with like a $100 bankroll, and I was able to build that up by playing like 5 2-pick power plays. Once in a while, do a 5-pick flex if I really like a slate or something like that. Because there's people who all the time put like $50 of their $100 bankroll on a 2-pick power play, and it's in my opinion, not the way to do it. If you just grind your bankroll in small increments, I think it's a better way to do it. Again, I'm not telling you guys what to do. It's just what personally I've done to be successful. It's just not the way that I personally go about it. And also, something else I like to do is obviously take advantage of things like Taco Tuesday. PrizePicks has Taco Tuesday where they do taco discounts, which is on Tuesday, which is where they discount players. So like you have Mikal Bridges, who was at 24.5 points today at this time of this recording, and he's actually at 20.5 right now. So that's good value when it comes to it, because on sports books and things like that, and everywhere else, it's at 24.5, yet it's at 20.5 on PrizePicks. There's a $25 max on this. You can't put like $30 on this or whatever. But something you can also do, by the way, is assuming the taco hits, you can do something called a hedge. So there's a $25 max. So let's say, for example, you want to put like $12.50 on Bradley Beal's over, pair with Mikal Bridges. And also, you can do a second entry with Mikal Bridges over his taco right there, with Bradley Beal this time under 26.5 points. Assuming Mikal Bridges hits and Bradley Beal does play, you would end up profiting that $12.50 right there and somewhat building your bankroll. That, of course, does assume that Mikal Bridges does hit, though, because if Mikal Bridges goes under like his 20.5 points, then you're just losing $25 straight up instead of making the $12.50 with the hedge, if that kind of makes sense. That's something called a hedge, which is something that I personally did all the time when grinding my bankroll. Rather than like pressing your luck, trying to get like all 25 and just Bradley Beal's over with Mikal Bridges or something like that, instead you can take that win of $12.50, of course, assuming that the taco does hit. We also have Flex Friday, which I think is an amazing promo, at least when it comes to like this, where you have like a flex entry, like get your money back up to $20 if it loses. These are the type of Flex Fridays that I like, because you just get your money back in promo funds if like your first flex entry does miss. And on these days, I usually run like a 5-pick flex rather than going for broke on like a 6-pick flex that can pay out like 25 times your money, you know. I typically just run like the 25 or the 10x on the 5-pick flex and things like that. When it comes to like promos though, when you have like the 30x on the 6 flex payout, if you guys know what I'm talking about, which is this one is not as great of a promo in my opinion, because there's already a really low chance of hitting a 30x or a 6-pick flex. So not the best promo in my opinion. I much prefer like obviously where it's like a risk-free $20. But also going back to another strategy that I'm actually interested in, is called Plus EV. This right here is called the DGF Fantasy Optimizer. If you want to check it out, the link is down in my description below. This is one of the tools that I used even before I was affiliated with them, by the way. I use this tool every single day. This is called Plus EV because you take odds from like sports books and like DraftKings. DraftKings is one of the most accurate like sports books in the world. Of course, they are a massive company and they have like those really tight lines, you know. So instead of playing off what you think is going to happen, maybe you can kind of like play with the sports books almost. That's what's called pretty much Plus EV, because you take like, for example, we're going to scroll down here and I want to show you guys someone. We're going to go with Evan Mobley here. You can see he's a minus 145 to go over 26.5 points plus rebounds. When on PrizePicks, like a 2-pick power play, that pays out 3 times your money. But if you were to throw like 2 minus 145 props together on DraftKings, it would not pay out as much. It would pay out more on a site like PrizePicks. If you want to learn more about this, I recommend going ahead and giving a follow to C. Matt Downs on Twitter. He's the owner of the DGF Optimizer, the CEO and founder of the DGF Fantasy Optimizer. I absolutely love this tool. Like I said, he does a great job of explaining Plus EV. He's really open to like answering questions and things like that as well. But go give him a follow on Twitter. He tweets out his entries all the time as well. If you want to learn more about Plus EV playing and things like that, recommend giving him a follow over on Twitter. But if you do also want to check this tool out for yourself, you can use the DGF Optimizer link down in my description below, and you guys can get a 3-day free trial for this as well. If you go ahead and click on membership options, and if you scroll down, you should be able to see something like this that says sign up for a 3-day free trial of their all access membership before committing to a monthly fee. And you guys can go ahead and check that out if you are interested in seeing that. But also I want to talk about if you're like cold, if you're on like a cold streak or something like that, and you're normally playing like maybe $20 on a 2-pick power play or whatever you're doing, if you're on a cold streak, just drop that entry amount down maybe drop it down from $20 down to $10 until you start getting hot maybe again. That's something that I do all the time. If I'm hot, maybe I bring it up just a little bit, but also if you're on a hot streak, you also don't want to bring it up a ton because then you can get burned really bad with your unit size. So what I like to do is just drop it down if I'm cold and bring it up to maybe my normal amount when I start to get hot again. And I also want to talk about some different tools that I do use. Like I said earlier, I do use this DGF Fantasy Optimizer. Link is down in my description below for that. That is for a bunch of different apps. They also have this for sports books and different sports, things like that. Showed you a lot of good value very fast. Also when it comes to like PrizePicks, I've made probably a lot of money using this tool just because of the value they show. I also use a site called props.cash. You can pull up pretty much any player that you want. Like if you want to take a look at Bradley Beal, you can go ahead and take a look at his full game log, how many times he's been over the 26.5, how many times he's been under, which is 39% at 26.5. It also shows you the spread, the over-under, the money line, shows you how many minutes he's been playing, the points against a specific team. There's a lot of data just on the site called props.cash. You can also take a look at games without like Kyle Kuzma, games with Kyle Kuzma, or you can go and take a look at like first half, how he's done in the first half, how he's done in different quarters, how he's been on the road, how he's been at home, games where they win by 10 plus. There's a lot of different stats, things like that on the site called props.cash. Both of these tools are on the more expensive side, I will say, depending on what you want. Like if you just want NBA PrizePicks, it's a little bit cheaper than like the all access. Also for this, you can get all access for all sports, which I think is $200 a year. Or you can get like a season for sports. So if you want just like the MLB, I think it's like $100 for the season. Could be wrong about that. But also if you want a more cheaper free option, Statmuse is another way. You just have to like go ahead and enter it yourself. So if you want to see like Bradley Beal's game log, so we'll go ahead and just type in Bradley Beal game log. You can see what he's been doing this season. And you just see like his last couple of games with his game log, how many minutes he's had, the points, all that different stuff. So you can just kind of use that over on Statmuse. That is a completely free site right there. Another site that I use is the Rotowire NBA Daily Lineups. This is another completely free tool. It shows you just like players that are in, players that are out today, questionable, and things like that. So again, if you just look up Rotowire NBA starting lineups on Google, this should pull up for you guys. You can see like the spread for the game. You can see the over-under for the game. Who's out, who's in, all that different stuff. So the time that the game starts, just things like that. It shows you a lot of different things. Final tool I'm going to show you right here is for the NBA. If you just look up FanDuel NBA defense versus position, this is a tool by Fantasy Pros. You can see that the points per game that a team allows to like a certain position. So if we're trying to find Bradley Beal and the points per game that the Magic give up per game this season to the position, just go ahead and switch this over to shooting guard, and then points per game. You can see Orlando was allowing the 4th fewest points per game to the shooting guard this season. You can also narrow this down to like the last 7 games, if this will load right here. Last 7, last 15, last 30. I'm not even sure if you guys can see that on the screen right now, but you can change the filter like to last 7 games. And Orlando was allowing actually the 5th least points per game in the last 7 to the shooting guard. So that can show you right there. It also shows you, by the way, this tool, the Rotowire, that I showed you guys before. You can see the position that a player is expected to start at. So Bradley Beal, shooting guard. That's why I pulled the shooting guard and how they match up against like the Magic, for example. So that is some of the tools that I use. I mainly use those 4 tools: Rotowire NBA lineups, the Fantasy Pros that I just pulled up, props.cash, and then also the DGF Fantasy Optimizers. The last 2 are free. The first 2 are free, the Rotowire and the FanDuel. And then props.cash and DGF Optimizer are paid tools that I use literally all the time, mostly. Those are kind of different ones that I personally use. So again, this video is just showing you guys what I do personally. I'm not telling you guys to do any of these different things. Just want to make a video showing you guys how I personally found success, because I know there's a lot of people struggling to like get their start on PrizePicks and don't really know what to do. So overall, play responsibly though, play at your own risk and all that different stuff, man. You just got to be responsible with how you play. This is a form of entertainment. It's not an extra source of income. People seem to think they can make like $1,000 because there's guys on Twitter that are talking out of their ass, showing pickets, which can be people showing pickets that can easily be manipulated with their unit size and just things like that, or depositing money. Like picket doesn't factor in the amount of money that you deposit into these fancy apps. So that's why, for example, nobody shows off their net winnings from PrizePicks, but they do show off like their picket and things like that. I just think it's so stupid. People like to manipulate people online to join their premiums and things like that. But just be careful out there. And again, make sure you play responsibly. Look into things like Plus EV, maybe. If you guys are interested in Plus EV, again, see Matt Downs on Twitter. I talk a lot about strategies and things like that on PrizePicks or all these other apps, man. But I think I pretty much covered everything. Just I typically run 2-pick power plays. Sometimes I mix and match. That's a different strategy. Plus EVing and 5-pick flexes is something I also talked about. Not a fan of really anything else. 4-pick power plays sometimes, but otherwise 3-pick flexes, 4-pick flexes, 6-pick flexes, I really don't touch. Playing responsible unit sizes, don't put like 50% of your entire like bankroll on like an entry. That's personally not something I do. Just playing smaller amounts and just building that bankroll up consistently is something that I do. Also, taking advantage of discounts like Taco Tuesday and Flex Fridays could be a good possibility and a good way to build a bankroll potentially. And if you're cold, maybe just drop the unit size down, and you can take a look at also some of the tools that I used to use for my research personally. So hope this video did help you guys out just a little bit and even the slightest bit. If you guys have any feedback or your type of strategies, let me know down in the comment section below. But I just want to show off personally what I do and maybe just help somebody out there. So thank you guys for watching this video. Again, you guys can subscribe to me. If you want to check out my dub club, you can. And that will show you the plays that I play pretty much every single day, man. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And again, hopefully this video helped some of you guys out. Make sure you subscribe, have those notifications on, and I'll see you guys hopefully in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out, boys.